Okay. So thank you for hanging with me a few seconds to get through the technical issue there. And as I was saying, surprise number one is that I'm not Jonathan. Um, so wanted to first of all just say he's out sick today, so I stepped in since this is such an important topic to talk to everyone about why Google Analytics isn't enough for your ABM program or really for your marketing programs today for B2B. So get well, Jonathan. We'll send good wishes your way, and he will definitely be back for the next one. Also, feel free to send us questions. We'll happy to answer those for you as well. So thank you for joining and welcome. So what we want to talk about today is why Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics just aren't enough for your marketing campaign. So, we hear a lot from our clients about trying to look at that data, trying to make sense of that data that they're getting and run their campaigns using UTMs and other trackers to pull that data in. And it's just not quite enough information for them to make actionable. I mean, the goal of pulling in analytics like that is to know, is my campaign working? Am I really impacting those companies that matter most to me, whether it be my customers or my prospects? And what should I do next? Where are they in that buying journey? What do they know about? What do they not know about? And what information should I share to lead them through that buying journey? And of course, we all know a buying group now is really big, right? 30 plus people over 12 to 18 months in a buying cycle for B2B, for manufacturing and life sciences companies. So how, as a marketer, am I going to know what's working, what's not, where they are, what I need to tell them? That's really what you're trying to go for with those analytics. And, as you think about Google Analytics, you can look at, how they get there. So you can use your UTMs and know what campaign drove them there. How long they were on the site, what pages they looked at, but you don't know who. You don't know who looked at it and who did it. You just know that someone, right, did it. So, that is helpful, but it's just a very small part of the picture. And you might have marketing automation. And when you have marketing automation, then you might get that information for some of your known users. So meaning if you have their email and you're sending them an email, then you would get that information. But, we find, depending on where you're located in the world, we find that that's about 30% of the traffic. And if you're global, it's sometimes 5% of your traffic, since, you don't have as many emails typically from GDPR. So that's just a really small part of the picture. So really, if you can take an account-based slice and look at, all of this data across accounts, that is really helpful. So, it helps you make sense of that noise, multiple people in their own journeys, and pull it up to an account level. It helps you understand where somebody that really matters to you, a key account, as an example, where they are in the journey in that collective buying group, and helps you really know that next best action to lead them through that buying journey. And then, the other thing I would say everyone tries to do with their Google Analytics and Adobe Analytics is attribution. And, we are not in the world of first touch attribution or even last touch attribution when you're in a multi-month long sales cycle. It's not what happens. So we know that there's so many touches. If you think about it, there are 8 to 10 touches typically for one person to move from one step to another step. So now you combine that with multiple stages in your buying cycle, upwards of 10 stages usually. We put them in awareness, consideration, and decision, but there are usually multiple movements even within each one of those stages. And now you multiply that by 30 people, you're looking at hundreds of engagements that need to happen over months of time from your marketing department and your sales team too, but marketing really needs to touch them digitally really often through that entire cycle, since it's really about digital selling now that people aren't meeting as much face to face as they used to, and they just don't like to talk, right? They like to stay anonymous and do their research on their own. Hundreds and hundreds of engagements are really marketing's responsibility, and you have to be able to pull that up to a level that makes sense for your marketing efforts, see what's working with those accounts, and move them through the journey. So let me show you just a couple of examples here, or what data can look like when you're showing it in an account-based way. So here's just an example of our account scoring that we have here at Jabmo that will help you see some things that you will see in your Google Analytics and Adobe Analytics today. What industry, what sector, even what locations. You'll get this data today in this way, but what you won't get is the account-based level. So now we can really look at all of these metrics by a particular account and start to score them for how ready they are for either a sales engagement or to move to the next stage for your marketing campaigns. You can really get into the locations, but now by account. So, here are the account names. You might get location data today, but you don't know who that is from an account perspective. And you can group those together with your account data. You can also really get some insights here, with who's engaged the most, what do those surges look like, and what do they look like by location? And then who visited, who's new in the last 30 days? Who do I maybe not have in a campaign and should, or maybe I just launched a campaign and I want to see if it's working. We'll show campaign data in a minute, but just knowing who those first visitors are, what pages they're visiting, and then your known user piece. So you might get some of the known user data from your marketing automation, as I mentioned, but it's usually just a fraction of the overall picture. And really you can dig into what are those journeys and what channels impacted those journeys. So this is really great information for you to add that account-based slice and understand who is doing it and what you should do from a marketing perspective. And then we can also group together those key accounts that matter most to you. And so you can really start to see how the campaigns are impacting them, what's really working, what's not working. You can drill down to a single account if you want. Here you can see what each account is doing and then where they are in these buying stages. So, did I move them from awareness to consideration to decision? Are they trending upward, downward? What that momentum looks like. Again, the buyer's journey, the buying group journey. And then even from an account level, are we reaching them? Are we engaging with them? Is that really working? And then what active ads do I have running? You can show that as well. In this case, they're video ads. But just so that you know what campaigns running, what those metrics are impacting those accounts that matter most to you, and what do I need to do with a particular account to move them through that journey. So I hope this was helpful for you. As I mentioned, we'll get the questions that you have and follow up with you directly. Jonathan will be back on the next one, and we'll get the topic out to you, but don't hesitate to reach out if you want to learn more about how to add the account-based slice to your analytics to make your campaigns successful. I wish you well, and we'll talk soon.